Hello everyone, welcome back. We're good to go for the qualifying session for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Just getting everything sorted and we should be good to go. We are ready, and also are all the cars ready on track as well. Green flags, no laps set just yet, but sector times are of course upon us, which is great to see. We'll see who can set the pace in this session. We saw, I'm getting it completely wrong now, George Russell go fastest in FP3 just earlier on, but Charles Leclerc was incredibly quick right behind. So overall, Charles Leclerc has been the quickest car on track if you look at the kind of sessions over the weekend so far. Now, he is, in my opinion, the favourite. I think a lot of people, especially in the FP3 chat, was favourite for Charles Leclerc. That could change very much so, as everybody's going to be dialed in, and the temperature was probably going to have risen now we're further on into the day. Zingy, do you still stick by your word with your qualifying predictions?
Well, I kind of have to, but I do believe that Charles Leclerc can get pole position. It's one of his favourite tracks, one of the tracks he's best at. And with the Ferrari performing as it did in Monza, I don't see a reason as why Charles can't go out today and get that pole position.
For sure. I think it's going to be a very good chance for him, and I am very excited to see how this goes. And we now finally see a few laps on the board. That's Bottas and Ricciardo just improving up ahead of the other cars. There's Sonoda going even better by Ricciardo by 3.5 tenths. That's a good job from them. Hulkenberg only P5 for now, which, considering practice, is a bit disappointing. But Alex Albon goes and destroys the field early on, and that is awesome. Final sector is purple ahead of Sergio Perez, who's got a purple first sector, but a purple middle sector for Franco Colapinto. He's about to cross the line now. This is going to be a pretty impressive lap from him, I think.
Yeah, Verstappen coming through the middle sector now. He's not even purple, so Colapinto's middle sector was better than Verstappen's, it looked like, as he does go P1. Coming through the last few corners, the Dutchman is. DRS open. He might get a little slipstream from that car in front, but it shouldn't affect him too much. Behrman goes P3.
Wow.
Ollie Behrman in the Haas. P3, not bad. Verstappen over the line now. He's going to go first with a 43.6. And Perez has got two purple sectors, so it'll be interesting to see where Perez is in comparison to these two. 2 tenths up on Verstappen in the middle sector, but Leclerc is bringing the heat as well.
For sure, Perez is going to cross the line. What's it going to be for the Mexican driver? It's going to be by 2 tenths. That's pretty impressive. Everybody's just slowly getting kind of bled into the session. Stroll to P5, that's a pretty good effort from them as well. Leclerc is about to set the pace. They're a middle purple sector. They are going to be rapid. Here we go, across the line. And Leclerc doesn't take provisional pole for Q1, which I'm very surprised at, actually. Fair enough. Well, Perez is very good at the circuit, we know, and he's making sure everybody doesn't forget that. The Williams doing a very good job, but I'll be honest, I am surprised that Behrman is where he is. Since his FP3 crash, he's had no running today except from a few untimed laps. Also, Ocon's going to be on the back foot. That's both McLarens to P4 and 5 early on. They're in a solid position, but they're still 4 tenths each behind Perez right now.
Russell 11th, but you must remember he's on the medium tyre. Maybe Mercedes think they've got the pace to get through the Q2 while saving a set of softs, but P11 isn't very convincing, especially when you've got like Haas's and Williams ahead of you. So I think Russell will have to go out again, as we see, very close to the wall there. So yeah, I think Russell needs to go out again. I don't know what happened to Hamilton either. I think his lap time wasn't very good, unless you can see. I'm just seeing a replay, so I can't really see the timings. But
Russell
it looks
purple
as
last
though.
sector. So,
Oh,
but Hamilton's just gone to P8. So yeah, it's done a pretty good job. Mercedes seem to be quick after their power unit fixes.
yeah, not bad for Hamilton. P9 medium tyre. Carlos Sainz doing a second lap on that same soft tyre. Purple first sector. He may get a slipstream from that Sauber. As Verstappen's reporting the car being unstable and jumping around on the rear, which is not what you want to hear around the track that's got plenty of traction zones.
Yeah, for sure. And I was just going to mention that he seems to be having a few issues on the radio, and turn 15 is one of those corners where you really can't afford to have any issues. We're going to get a bit of a strategic masterclass, it looks like, here from the Ferraris, as Carlos Sainz will go through with a purple first sector, but Leclerc's going to follow them behind, unless they're going to go straight into the pit lane, which could kind of make sense from Charles Leclerc. I think he is backing off, right? He's not going to get a distant toe, maybe? I'm not entirely sure. Is he staying out? He is staying out. I'm going to go again. Carlos Sainz up to P2. Still no one can beat Sergio Perez. Leclerc is going again, looking to try and get a toe, but as Sainz doesn't actually give them a second toe, Leclerc's just going to have that distant toe through the first sector, and we'll see if that's actually going to do too much about it. Zingy, staying out on the same tyre and doing more laps. I don't know how I feel about that one around this circuit.
Depends if you back off early enough, and if you do so, I think you will be fine. But once you get into that second sector and you've been pushing the tyres for that long, I think you might have some issues with how the tyres will perform in comparison to, say, if it was another track and you could just back off any time during the lap, because the rears get absolutely destroyed around here. I mean, you can just see out of turn 15 there, Ollie Behrman sliding a little bit on exit. It's not the nicest place. And oof, wow, Colapinto P3.
It's a brilliant job. Brilliant job. Just recently, so a bit later on into the session, and tyre-wise, that is the same tyre that he's currently got on right now from when he set his original time. So he's done a brilliant job. I don't know if he got a toe. It doesn't look like he got a toe. He might have got one from an Alpine or something, but it looks like he's actually set that lap time. Only a tenth away from Perez, but more importantly, he's behind so many other cars that aren't his teammate, effectively. So he's done an incredible job. The McLarens are improving, however, so that's going to obviously probably be something to look at. Leclerc backed off after that first sector, so that's an interesting call from them. Unless they're going to go again, I guess they're just going to make it back to the pit lane, and they've given up on that one. It's still a very good lap time, so they might be able to get through to the next session. But if people aren't really convinced on the Williams outright pace and think maybe there's actually more to bring for everybody, then they're gonna have to go out again, and no one's safe. That is a non-improvement from Piastri in the middle sector. They go across the line. What's it going to be for the Australian driver? It's going to be a P5 for now. Norris across the line very shortly as well.
Yeah, not very good from Piastri there. Only a 10th off, which you must remember is basically nothing, as Norris goes into P5, which demotes Verstappen to P7, who's been complaining on the radio again. We've seen the little text box with the radio message, and saying that he was nowhere. So he must feel that the car's not underneath him at the moment, and he has been feeling that last few races. Oh, who is that? Was that Colapinto up against the wall? My goodness, that must have been the lap he set P3, right? That was incredible.
Yeah, definitely. That's how you have to do it sometimes. You can risk a puncture. Oliver Behrman also doing the same thing, but we saw this in F2. He's no stranger to doing this around Baku. So, yeah, I mean, Haas are going to have their heart in their mouths, but he is a very special driver around this circuit, so I think he'll be absolutely fine. That is a yellow. That's going to be Carlos Sainz off the runoff area, having to reverse. Ricardo might have an issue as he approaches, but I think Carlos has just got out of the way, so it's absolutely fine. Interestingly, Leclerc stays out, and now he's gone purple in the first sector, with Perez purple in the middle sector now.
George Russell only 800s up on Lance Stroll's time, not Perez's, so Russell looks to be struggling on this set of soft tyres. Maybe they have to bring them in a bit more, because although it's sunny, there's a lot of shadows around here, and the tyres might be getting a bit cold, so perhaps drivers are just doing 2 laps to get the tyres more up to temperature, as Perez sets an even better lap time, a 43.2, which puts him 3 tenths ahead of Carlos Sainz, who just made that mistake. And George Russell, on that lap, he's 17th at the moment. I think he will be able to get back to the pits, get a new set of tyres on and come back, but the point is Leclerc goes pole by 4 tenths, that he needs to get this lap in. He's now purple in the middle sector, so maybe the first sector wasn't as good, but yeah, the Mercedes now are turning up a bit, and Hamilton also improving.
I feel like this is way too much lap time to be track evolution, unless it really is track evolution, but Leclerc just going almost 4.5 tenths ahead of Perez. I thought Perez's lap was good compared to the rest, so maybe the Williams is just kind of getting everything together quite early on. That is Russell going across the line with a purple sector in the middle sector, but a terrible last sector, and it sees him 3.5 tenths behind Leclerc. So that's an interesting one, and I'm sure we're going to see everybody have to go again now. I mean, 5 minutes. The ones that have just completed laps, Leclerc, trying to set laps on that same tyre, made it work very, very well. Russell might be okay. And also Perez, if Russell's okay, Perez is okay. But Carlos Sainz downwards, I mean, it would be difficult for them to be knocked out, but it might be possible. The most important thing is that these guys have set the laps before they get yellow flags and red flags to stop them from setting any time laps. So they've got what they needed in the session so far, with only a few minutes left on the clock, and that's Hamilton to P4 as well. So Mercedes are going to be in a bit of a comfort zone. It's not guaranteed for Hamilton 6 tenths, but it is a lot better. McLaren, they, as I said, they have completed the laps, but it's still quite away from the current top time, and they've got a lot of work to do here.
Yeah, Ricardo getting a little bit of slipstream of Hamilton there, I think that was, as he comes through the first sector. He's 19th at the moment. That's right, he will be eliminated, but he's going to go for one more. I don't think, unless he slows down now, I don't think he'll get another lap in, so this is it. He's a 10th and a bit up on Tsunoda, but he needs a bit more than that, doesn't he?
Yep, he will need a very small margin more than the 10th. They need a 10th and a half. Effectively just over a 10th and a half to get to Tsunoda. Obviously, if you do that, you knock your teammate out, so you don't really want to knock them out by one car. You want to go a little bit further into the session so it doesn't look so bad. From you, we're going to see Russell be the next one to cross the line, but he is purely, I believe, on a normal lap.
Sorry, Ricardo almost hit the wall there as he was pushing through. He's 9 tenths up on Tsunoda now, so do you reckon it's track evolution? Because there's a very long track, there's a lot of traction zones, as I've said multiple times already. Do you reckon that you're probably going to gain a lot of time just so because there's more rubber laid out?
I think for sure it could be possible. Obviously the sun is out compared to what it was yesterday. It was a little bit of a more of a morning sun compared to the afternoon where it's a little bit hotter now. Ricardo goes up the order, but I don't know, I feel like everybody's just kind of bleeding themselves into the session a little bit more. I feel it's possible. Tsunoda goes purple in middle sector. Maybe Charles Leclerc isn't safe after all. That's an interesting one for sure. So 41 is that in the first sector, 41 something. We'll see what Tsunoda can do though in a moment's time. Alonso is going to start a lap, and then we'll see Tsunoda cross the line. That's going to be a P4, so having not so much pace in that final sector, but a lot of people improving, and the two Saubers working in harmony to try and get at least one of the cars out into Q2 right now.
And it's only P10 for Bottas, even with that massive tow behind Tsunoda by 3 tenths. And that'll allow, I think Zhou's not going to go for it. I think they're going to switch around and do the same for when Zhou gets his lap done. They've got enough time to do so. Just a note, Piastri 11th, Norris 9th, and Verstappen 12th. Verstappen makes a mistake during his lap, he could be out of qualifying 1. It's very, very rare that we've said that, and obviously Max Verstappen's a fantastic driver. But Aaron, one mistake and it could be all over.
Yeah, it definitely could be. We look at the tyre situation, and there's a few cars that are on fresh tyres, so they have the ability to go a lot quicker. Verstappen, though, as we're talking about, is on scrub tyres. So is Piastri, and so is Norris. So those guys are confident in what they can do. Maybe they were just the tyres that they used at the start of the session, which would make sense, and they're probably why it says they're scrub tyres. So they're not really that slow. Hülkenberg's going pretty quick. We've got Alonso also setting some good times in part of the lap, but Hülkenberg's going to be one to watch, I think, in a few moments' time, as Alonso does go up the order quite nicely. We'll see how this one goes.
A yellow sector too. There's an Alpine, I think that is going slowly. Is it? I think it looks like Ocon. Yeah, I think Ocon.
Towards
There's something
turn
wrong
7.
from perhaps. Sorry?
Towards turn 7, it looks like maybe we'll see another reliability issue for the Alpine, but I'm going to be honest, they've managed to keep it moving now. They're not going fast at all, of course, but maybe it's more of they're just slowing down now. I don't know, but regardless, Alpine, they're out, right? I think Gasly is P16. I don't know if they're going to be able to improve too much more than that. Albon does a phenomenal job. Colapinto goes and beats him.
Oof. No. It's just behind P3.
Just behind him.
Yeah, but no, he's only 2 tenths off. Verstappen does need to get this lap, and this is absolutely dire. Oh! Almost in the wall, Verstappen! He's not hit the wall coming into turn 15. That was amazing. 2 tenths down of Charles Leclerc, basically free. This is Q1, remember? Coming through the last few corners, I think Verstappen will get it, but that was far too close for his liking, especially in Q1. He is 16th at the moment, but I think this lap's going to be enough.
According to that, he'll be able to get to P3 as long as this last sector is pretty normal. So that will be pretty standard. But he was a bit lucky with that one. I think Williams could be through. Hulkenberg should be through. Stroll P9. That might not be safe with some other cars. McLaren have got a lot to do here. They've got to make sure they don't make mistakes. Piastri's through the clear. They just need to set this lap. Norris, however, he's got that middle sector to go through. He makes the final major corner and he is going to be good to go as well. So they should be through. There shouldn't be any problems. That's a yellow as Ocon goes slowly and Norris might have had to lift. We'll see if that's the case in a bit. Piastri up the order. What's going to happen for Lando Norris? Will they have to lift? I don't know.
We'll see coming up to the line, Lando Norris. He's in the pits! He's in the pits! He's out! Norris is out of Q1!
That's incredible. He had to back off because Esteban Ocon, on all places, slowed at the one bit. The same place where Pierre Gasly blocked him in practice, and he's now out of qualifying. P17 is where he will finish, and Lando Norris isn't gonna be furious with Alpine. That's twice that this has happened by both the drivers. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, that's wow, wild. Leclerc P1, Albon second, Piastri managed to get out, and Lando had to back off for the Alpine of Ocon, who had a puncture. What I heard the commentator say earlier on, I think it was. But yeah, both Williams through as well, which is impressive. But let's see here on the replay, he's coming into the last proper corner, turn 16. Oh no, he made a mistake. It wasn't even Ocon. He just made a mistake.
I see.
Riding the curb. You can see it again here. It just skates over it and that's him out because of a mistake. It wasn't Ocon at all.
I mean, I don't know. Why wouldn't you want to set that lap? You're improving. I mean, the margins, like 2 tenths, just under 2 tenths, sure. Maybe they lost that and that would have been enough, but set the lap, surely. Set the lap. Unless he had to lift anyway, so they just thought, we'll just pit. It is what it is. I don't know. I guess the problem would have been is that if he did go and set the lap and try and power through, then it could have meant that his time would be deleted, but he'd also be dropped down a bit further. Oliver Behrman is very glad that he was able to get through into the second session. Obviously he wants to try and follow his teammate for this weekend. Someone that won't follow their teammate for this weekend is Lando Norris. Also Esteban Ocon, as Gasly sets an incredible lap to go to P4. That's a brilliant job right there.
Yeah, obviously Ocon having that issue and Lando Norris having his own separate issues, kind of skating across that curb. He's out of Q1, and for the championship it's not a difficult track to overtake. I think there's how many overtaking spots? Into turn 1, into turn 3. But they're not very difficult to overtake at, so Norris could get back in the race, but starting that far down, when your championship rival's Max Verstappen, and he's probably going to be in the top 10, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, they're looking quick as well. They've also, if Perez can keep up the form that they've had over the weekend so far, then they'll have 2 gunners for that team. So they're going to be able to really work tactically for the first time in a long time if it goes as planned. We'll see how this one goes. But Max Verstappen is going to be very happy with the team. Obviously, news that Adrian Newey left a while ago. That was a long time ago, but it was confirmed that he's gone to Aston Martin. Red Bull kind of looked in a bit of a bad light because they'd lost one of the best engineers of all time. But it doesn't matter. They've got the decent car. They've got a car back that they can perform with relative to everyone else, and they should be good to go. Esteban Ocon actually hitting the concrete barrier. That's turn 4 that will be. So that's what Colapinto hit in the practice sessions. It's now claimed another driver, just a little bit less damage, but it doesn't matter because you're out the session. Who's not out the session, but very close to being, is both Aston Martins, Lance Stroll and Fernando Alonso, P13 and 15. They are very, very lucky to be in this session.
Carlos Sainz as well wasn't doing too well up until that last run there. He was struggling quite a lot, unfortunately for him, but he managed to get through to Q2 at the expense of course, Lando Norris. It's incredible, isn't it?
It is.
He needs to. He said, McLaren said a few weeks ago that they're going to try and benefit Norris after Monza, but they can't do that. Piastri's sitting there in P5 and Norris is 17th.
Yeah, maybe they need to switch the cars. They need to put Norris in Piastri's car. That's how it works, right? No. Yeah, I don't know. It is a big shame. The only way they can do anything now is, well, they couldn't even get Piastri disqualified because it would still put him only 16th, and ultimately it doesn't really make a difference because you can't set the qualifying lap if you're knocked out anyway. So yeah, Norris, unfortunately, that is his session over. Nothing will be able to happen in that one. I think that's been a bit of an incident. That's Carlos Sainz, Esteban Ocon failing to follow race director's instructions, as we see weekend in and out for every race, exceeding the delta time. But I don't think they're going to be really receiving too much of a problem from it, because I've never actually seen anybody have major issues from it so far. And we're going to get qualifying 2 underway in a few moments time. This is going to be where it all gets a little bit more difficult. We were all unsure right there for Q3. The green flag is go, and we will be once again qualifying here in Azerbaijan. Everyone that kind of knows the pace a little bit better, but now it's going to be even harder to push the limits. So I don't know, this is where we could get a red flag thingy. Unfortunately, he's not here, but we could get a red flag. Chat, there you go. I'll speak to the chat like the good old days on Twitch. Now, Red Bull are on their way out. We'll see if Max Verstappen can once again perform pretty well as he just did. But Leclerc, he's going to be the one to try and get this, I think. It's going to be very interesting. Piastri, interestingly, goes out on a set of fresh, soft tyres. So does Gasly, so does Perez, Tsunoda and Stroll. For Piastri and Perez, that doesn't really make too much sense to me, because they should be in the top 4 cars, whereas the other cars, it would make sense that they are on a fresh soft tyre because they want to try and get a best lap in as they possibly can. That being said, the majority of the grid are all on scrub tyres. That's including both Williams cars. That's also including Fernando Alonso and Oliver Behrman. But yeah, we're yet to see anybody start the lap, but it will be Charles Leclerc, of all people, to set the pace. We've got a lot of traffic in the pit lane from a replay, and it's all a little bit difficult, but I don't think we'll have too many problems. That is very, very scary, actually. Never mind, it's going to have to be looked into, I assume, after the race. But Leclerc will be starting his lap very, very shortly. This is where it gets interesting.
Obviously start Q2, go on. Charles Leclerc, just start that lap. Now, this is the question, right? Of course, you're going to get up at the start of the session. But at what point do you think the traction should get faster? We could say a set like later on in the session, say 6 seconds to go. And then we'll do 2 runs as opposed to 1. The teams will not do like top teams to save a set of tires.
I mean, it could be, but I feel like after the session we've just had, people are maybe a little bit unsure on what's going on. Just a quick note right now, first through the speed trap, obviously we're all on outlaps, but Hamilton is currently leading the way. It gives a little bit of a idea of the straight line speed. Unfortunately, I can't see the original times for Q1 to see what the pace is like, but ultimately we're all going to be turning up the pace anyway. I don't know why I'm saying we. They are all going to be turning up the pace anyway, so it doesn't really matter. They're going to be going quicker than they were before, for sure. So will we be able to see a low 41 in the middle sector, even maybe a 40, if that's possible? I don't think we're going to get a 40. That would be very, very difficult. But Leclerc goes purple in the middle sector, which is very quickly taken away by someone else, or that's maybe just a graphic error. I do apologise. No, it is taken away by Carlos Sainz, their teammate.
Yeah, the Ferrari's looking quick at the moment. Just going to be setting their first laps of Q2. And this could be a big session for Berman because he's scraped through Q2. And we all know how big the slipstream is around this track. If he can grab a slipstream off a car, if he starts his lap early, grabs a slipstream off his car, when they're just at the start of their lap, he could gain a few tenths and that can be his race for Q3. Same with the two Williams. They may as well, they could try something different, go early, and grab a massive slipstream. But his Albon, he does slipstream, we know he doesn't, he goes P2, a couple hundreds off. Oh, George Russell, because it's a 42.7, so I presume that Albon and both Williams and both Ferraris were on scrub tyres, right?
Yes, they were, whereas Piastri's the only one to be on fresh tyres. Russell was on scrub tyres, 6 lap-old tyres, Sainz 11, Albon 5, Hamilton just did his with 8 lap-old tyre, and then also Leclerc on 8 lap-old tyres. So, you know, Russell is on fresher tyres, but they are still scrub at least. So, yeah, Piastri goes and sets that lap, fresh tyres, but only just under 2 tenths ahead right now. Oliver Behrman to P3, but still the gap to P1 is quite big at the moment, and once again I think we're just seeing everyone kind of ease into the session and see what they can do, but there's a lot less time, so it is all going to be a little bit more frantic and everything's going to be pushed to the limit very late on. Verstappen, goes and sets the fastest lap time in the meantime, also on a fresh set of tyres, and Perez not matches him, but 2 tenths behind, does improve a lot. And all of a sudden now, Leclerc's time, who I was saying is going to be on pole position, is now 1.380 seconds away.
Piastri, oh, getting up close to the wall, did he touch it? So let's see. Oh, just a little tap. But he's on, he was on new tyres, wasn't he? So.
Yes, he was.
5 tenths off. It doesn't really scream great, does it?
It's a very deceiving wall, that one, because it kind of sticks out, and then it does go away. So you have to make sure that you don't hit the stick out bit, but then it looks like you're under the limit when it does drop away from you. So it can be probably quite easy to hit that wall that is sticking out, because you want to try and push the limit, but then all of a sudden you're like, oh wait, I've hit the barrier. But right now we haven't had too many problems. We only actually had one crash at that corner. Now I've said it, about 5 seconds time we'll see somebody absolutely slam it into the barrier. We've got Lance Stroll or Fernando Alonso to try and do that. Tsunoda actually is on his way to that corner as well. No, I think we'll be fine. We're not going to have any crashes at that corner. For now at least. We'll see how it goes. 8 minutes on the clock, and I think a lot of people are pretty much done, although Lance Stroll is setting a lap right here on a scrub set of tyres, 4 lap old, so not too worn down. What's it going to be for the Aston Martin, who's currently in last? They stay last.
Yeah, 3 tenths off the top 10. Not much. And Aston Martin does seem quick in the straight line without the... That'll be without the use of DRS and slipstream, because it's only 321k, so... Aston Martin do look quick in acceleration, it looks like, but Stroll being 3 tenths off and Fernando being 1 tenth off, they can still get through to Q3, and so can call Pinto. Let's be realistic. Anyone can make it through Q3. Anyone can get knocked out of Q2. So You just have to be out there, right place, right time. Russell said the track was plateauing, meaning that the track's not going to get much faster from now on. So he thinks he should go out early, get rid of all the traffic, and just have our track to himself maybe. And I think that's a very good strategy. But what happens if the track does eventually start to improve again?
Yeah. It's gonna mix things up big time. We've got 7 minutes on the clock. We've got a few cars jostling for position, which isn't ideal. With that would be Gasly and Carlos Sainz. I think maybe Gasly's looking for a tow, maybe, or are they just trying to go into the pit lane? I want to quickly double check and see where Gasly is. They're P13. They are on a okay tyre, so they might actually be trying to set a lap time here. No, who's going to the inside? That is Gasly going to the pit lane actually, so it's going to be Carlos Sainz who's looking to set another lap time here and give us a bit of entertainment.
Yep, first corner, nicely done. He doesn't have to push extremely hard. I know he's 1.1 seconds back, but that'll just be from him on that scrub tyre. A new tyre should gain him at least 6 tenths, if not more. And I'm presuming that he didn't really push hard on that first lap. He just wanted to get a banker in, and it looks as though, pardon me, he will be pushing a bit harder now. Coming out to the end of the first sector, Verstappen with a 36.0, which is the fastest we've seen this weekend, I'm sure, if I'm not mistaken. Carlos Sainz 300s off, so he's looking good at the moment, but he's still got sector 2 and 3 to negotiate, and hopefully he's not killed his tyres off too much.
Yeah, for sure. He's got the biggest part of the circuit to come up now. I'm sure he'll be absolutely fine. They are on fresh tyres, so this is going to be the Ferrari at full pelt, and also, of course, Leclerc's also out as well. What they're trying to do here is get their fresh tyre runs in whilst there's no one out on track. That's their best chance of getting a safe lap in. They're going for safety over last minute dash for absolute lap time. I reckon it's probably a good idea. If it wasn't a good idea, then at least do one car doing one strat and the other car doing a different strat, but no one else is out on circuit right now. Both Ferraris are, but they're not going purple. They're only going green.
Yeah, but they are very close. They're very close to Verstappen. If they could just keep this lap up together, which Carlos Sainz has, he should be okay. Charles Leclerc, middle sector. He is purple, Aaron. He is purple in the middle sector by 3 tenths. Wow, that's a very big improvement. Sainz only P3, 4 tenths off. Leclerc should be coming for the last corner now, and without any difficulties. I'd assume he'd be P1, but the amount of times that people have messed up that last corner, the last proper corner, I wouldn't be surprised if he actually dropped down, but he should be safe enough. Charles Leclerc, nope, yeah, told you, P2.
Yeah, very small margins. People just seem to be struggling. It might have even been that they just scrubbed the tyres through the S's a little bit too much there. I'm not entirely sure. Would you call them S's? I call them S's. I don't know if they're actually S's or not. But yeah, they're very close to Verstappen. So within half a second are the top 4. Oscar Piastri, 5.5 tenths right now behind the top time. And then only within 1 second is the top 6. So currently there is quite a big gap between the rest of the field. Now they are all on their way out of the onto circuit. That is the Ferraris probably. I reckon that might be them done, although Carlos Sainz might have to look at doing a cool-down lap and then going again now. Leclerc can probably back off.
Yeah, Leclerc's safe. Verstappen safe. Perez, I think, safe. From Carlos Sainz down, it might start to get a bit frisky.
Yeah, for sure. Leclerc seems to be a bit concerned with the methods that Ferrari are using, I believe, with qualifying. I'm not entirely sure what he said, but I think he's not happy with maybe how they operated. They're obviously doing what they need to do themselves, but maybe not working together as a team to get both cars into the session. Carlos Sainz 4 tenths back. I don't know if they're going to be doing another cool down lap and then going again, or even just giving up on that one, or just letting the session go. But 4 tenths, I'm not entirely convinced that will be enough. Right now we've got a Mercedes right behind a Williams, but they're not actually on a lap. They're all just warming up, and it will be Gasly next to set a time lap, followed by Albon, then Russell.
Yeah, the Well, Hamilton's not safe. Definitely not. He's only 9th. Colapinto showed great pace earlier on in this session. He was 11th. He's 11th right now. Carlos Sainz talking about someone missing the toe.
Oh.
I wonder who that would be. Would that be about Charles?
Possibly. I mean, yeah, that would make sense. So maybe Charles Leclerc's going again. I mean, they're both seeming to do cool-down laps right now. In fairness, it kind of makes sense. They might as well. They're on these fresh tyres, and people were going pretty quick earlier on with scrub tyres. Sergio Perez is in the pit lane, and I don't know if they're going again. 3-lap-old tyres, they are on. That was their fresh set, effectively. I don't think they'll be doing another lap. They're going to be a little bit too late if they leave it any later. And, well, actually, no, it is too late for them to leave the pit lane. So Sergio Perez has completed their qualifying session right now. We'll see a few other cars coming around the final few corners to set their next laps. I am a bit confused. Is Leclerc on a lap right now, or are they doing another cool-down lap, as Carlos Sainz is doing? Gasly, regardless, will be the next one to set a time lap.
I don't know, but Russell's encountering some traffic here. That shouldn't mess him up, but there's one more car coming through the castle section just now. Actually, there's 2 more cars who don't look to be going amazingly quick. I think it is Charles Leclerc or Carlos Sainz. Does he get out of the way nicely? Yes, he does. Nicely for Carlos Sainz. Russell pushing on with his lap. He's got a Williams. I believe that would be Alex Albon. So if Alex slows down a little bit more, Russell could get a nice slipstream here. And even from that distance, he should get a little toe. So he's fine. Whoa, a bit shaky on exit, but 3 tenths down. Plus the fact that he lost a bit of time there, maybe 4 tenths, 5 tenths, maybe come the end of the lap. Gasly P7. Hamilton's at risk. Only 8 tenths. Well, he's 8 tenths off, sorry. Max Verstappen in the Red Bull. So he's not looking too safe either. Albon P7. Colapinto's yet to complete his lap. Russell goes P4. He should be safe. Carlos Sainz might be in a bit of danger along with Piastri if these guys get good laps hooked up. Tsunoda goes P8 and Behrman's on a lap now.
Behrman going across, well, he's actually going through the final few corners. We've got Carlos Sainz to start another lap. Nico Hülkenberg maybe looking at a distant toe. Improves, but doesn't improve position-wise. That is likely to be Nico Hülkenberg out of the session. Lance Stroll currently at the back of the pack. They cross the line to P13. I don't think they're going to be going again. I think that's going to be it for them. Franco Colapinto across the line. That's going to be a brilliant P5. Oliver Behrman is the man to watch, who is currently out. But are they going to get themselves in? They do, just about. However, Tsunoda set their lap recently. Gasly, Hülkenberg, it's Alonso, I was going to say, is the only one can beat them. And he does so. I think that's qualifying, Zingy. I think everybody that could set laps have set laps right there in the drop zone. That was a brilliant lap from Fernando Alonso.
Yeah, you can't discount Colapinto either. Going P4 or P5 at the time. He finishes the session P6. Albon, I think, just creeps into Q3 as well. So both Williams, once again, through to Q3. The Red Bulls look like they've finally got on top of it. Alonso doing well. And Piastri and Hamilton are very lucky, I'd say. I think if others were able to hook up their laps just a little bit better, it could have been very dangerous for them too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, looking at what could happen now in the final session of the qualifying day, maybe even Verstappen could possibly take this pole position. Leclerc not happy with the operations at Ferrari, so maybe that's getting to his head. Oliver Behrman he just did such a great job, and although he's out of qualifying, I don't think he should be disappointed. You know, where did he qualify in the Ferrari at Saudi Arabia?
11th. He qualified
and now
11th.
He's qualified 11th in a Haas. Like, honestly, that's not bad at all. I mean, Hülkenberg P14, so maybe Hülkenberg had an issue, but he still out-qualified his experienced teammate by, that's like 2 tenths, over 2 tenths. So he's done an amazing job.
And so it's Colapinto. Qualifying Albon. Podium sitter, of course. Very, very consistent driver. And Behrman seems to be very upset.
Yeah.
But I think he's a bit harsh on himself, really. I mean, he's done very well to get into that position in the first place. And with his experience already, he's got a little bit more. Well, he's got the same experience as Colapinto, actually, if I think about it. but he was driving a Ferrari, not a Williams, so
Yeah.
that might be a bit of a reason why he might be a bit hard on himself, but I don't think he should be worried at all.
He's also in a second car, of course. He's had to drive 2 different cars in the same season, which they will be different. Sure, they're the same engine, but everything else is going to be all a little bit different. So they've actually done a very good job to do it. They will have tested the Haas quite a lot. They've done a few sessions, so they do know the car. So I'll backtrack on myself there a little bit. But still, crashing in FP3 to then not have any running and then come and do what he's done. And as I said earlier on with Colapinto, try and get rid of that fear from crashing before. It's not that easy. I mean, they are racing drivers, I will say it again, but it's still not that easy. And Oliver Behrman, he's still done a very good job. Alex Albon, doing a good job to get into the top 10. You know, you would say, yeah, Alex Albon's done a brilliant job to be where he is, but with Colapinto up where he is, Alex Albon's got either a mistake under that lap or a few questions to answer.
Either or. We don't know what's happened, but I wouldn't discount either one of them. They're both doing well. Colapinto on his second F1 race ever, second qualifying session ever, around a track that is way harder than Monza, no doubt. And he's done that in Q3. It's like he's done this before.
Yeah, maybe they need to look at signing Colapinto and Carlos Sainz for next season. No. It's a very strong lineup that they'll have next season. Colapinto is doing everything he needs to do right now to maybe prove himself to be able to get a seat in the future of Formula One. Where that would be, I don't really know. That would be...
Sauber's got an option.
It would be Sauber, but are they going to want him? I mean, I think that's why they're maybe delaying the contract negotiations, because they realise now they've actually got a perfect opportunity to see a different driver. They've got either Valtteri Bottas or Franco Colapinto.
I mean, it's only a second race, so you can't really say much, but he's doing very well. And I think you cannot discount Valtteri. You know, he's won a lot of races. He's consistent. Also very marketable, which teams find important to an extent. So with that, you need to... And yeah, I think with Bottas' experience, it would be better for him to be there. But for a driver who could just be outright quick, you could use Colapinto. I don't want to speak too much on it in case anything happens in Q3, but he's been doing well. He's done well. He's proved himself already that he's capable of actually getting through to Q3, which not a lot of drivers do.
Yeah, look, you never know. With the car, obviously, Bottas and Zhou really can't really prove much about themselves at the moment. When Bottas turned up to Alfa Romeo in 2022, the laps that he set in that Bahrain race were awesome. I think he out-qualified some of the Mercedes, which was quite ironic at the time. He didn't beat them in the race, unfortunately, but he is a very good driver. Although they've already got experience in Nico Hülkenberg, and arguably more experience with Nico Hülkenberg. Yes, they don't have a winning experience, but they do have a lot in a car, of course, also across lots of different teams as well, and lots of different years, different eras. Now, that could be good, because then they have the experience already and they can put Colapinto in the car and just have a kind of a young driver to then bring up through the years, and that would be great for Audi. But I don't know. Colapinto, he's got a lot to do still right now. This is great from what he's doing at the moment. I think if he's looking at getting a seat, he's going to have to score points within the next 3 races. If he doesn't do that, I don't think he'll get a seat, and I think Valtteri Bottas will probably keep it.
A lot of pressure though. Points.
Yeah.
Qualifying and race are two very different things. And I think is you say that, but even if he doesn't get points and he still performs how he does in Monza, gets that, what was it, P12?
I think so. That's what I was going to say.
If he's up there, yeah, and he keeps it up, then I don't see a reason why Sauber shouldn't sign him. But at the same time, you're like, you know, it's difficult because you're saying about points, but I think if he just shows that he's consistent and he's good, better than Sargent anyway, then I don't think he's got anything to be worried about, and he could get that seat. Will Williams be happy about that? I don't think so, but I think if Colapinto were to get a full-time offer, he would definitely snap up, no?
I mean, it depends on how Williams develop. I don't think Williams will necessarily want to let him go, but also they won't want to hold him back. What's the point in holding back a driver for no reason, of course? So I think it will probably be it will probably be just up to Colapinto in that regard. After all, he's the junior driver, and they weren't necessarily pressuring to put him up the ranks. They were looking for Carlos Sainz, which is understandable, but they don't really have anywhere to put him with Carlos Sainz, of course, signing that contract, and I don't think they're even going to look anytime soon within the next few years to go with anyone else right now. But it really depends. If the team performs well, then Colapinto could keep a good relationship with Williams and then maybe come back at a later time. But really, he's got to look elsewhere. Liam Lawson has got to look elsewhere. They can't stay with that same academy or team if they want to be in Formula One. It's just not the way it's going to work, unfortunately.
Imagine if Sainz went to Sauber, they become Audi, and Colapinto signed a contract to Williams. It could have happened, it could have.
It could have happened, and it would have been not more straightforward, but it would have, it would have been more straightforward. For Williams, it's great to see Carlos Sainz there. We've got Q3 antics as the session starts, as it releases lots of cars out onto the track now. As we saw in Q2, lots of people very, very close. It wasn't as close as Q2, but it was all a little bit interesting for sure. And the Mercedes are going to lead the charge, so they're going to be the ones to try and get their laps in safely first. Then it is Piastri, then it is two Ferraris, Alonso, I believe that's going to be Perez. No, it's going to be Verstappen, then the two Williams.
Yeah, is that Q3? It's time to go. You got that 2 and 2 Ferrari and Mercedes. These first laps again are just going to be bankers, unless someone crashes in Q3, and Colapinto's the only one to set a lap time, and then Colapinto gets pole position. I'm manifesting it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how the grid would be sorted after that, to be honest. Well,
if Colapinto's the only one to set a lap?
Yeah. No, the rest of the grid, sorry, I mean. I don't know how where they would be
Q2
decided.
classification, probably.
I see, fair enough, that would make sense. That's actually not a good release from the Williams crew, so actually, either Williams drivers, wherever they qualified, they might be in a bit of trouble, because they were both released into the path of Sergio Perez. Yeah, it's unlikely, but it's definitely going to be looked at, and I think Red Bull will definitely be trying to give it some sort of investigation if they can. Now, we are going to see Russell start their lap first on a fresh set of tyres. Looking at the scrub tyres, we've got Alonso, Colapinto, we've got Piastri and Albon. So I think the Williams guys have used their tyres possibly for the session. Unless these are another set and they've got one more fresh set, but it looks like maybe everybody else has got two fresh sets they've managed to save. That's going to be Hamilton and Russell starting their laps though.
Who do you think, if you had to just pick one person for pole position, although you've made your predictions, what would you want to pick? Who would you want to pick, sorry?
Right now, after the sessions we've just seen, I will say Verstappen.
Verstappen?
Yeah, I'm going to go really risky there.
Oh yeah, very risky.
Yeah, I think Verstappen has just switched it on so far. I think he's going to be, along with Charles Leclerc, the one to get the closest to the walls, to be honest. That's my honest opinion. I think we could possibly see a Williams to P6. I think all the other cars will be a bit interesting. I think it's going to be a bit hard to actually catch up, of course, to the rest of the top four. Maybe they can look themselves into a P6, but I think maybe P7 would actually be quite a good effort, to be honest.
Yep. Also coming through the middle section now, let's see We want to look for the mid 17s, low 17s, and he's sent a 17-1 middle sector. That is good from Russell. That is very good. I'm sure that's what they were. That wasn't even what they were setting in Q2. So it looks as though Russell's really up in the pace here, coming for the last corner. Wasn't too bad from him. So he kept the car nice and straight through the S's there and up to the line. We're looking for a low 42, high 41. A 41.9. That is very good from Russell on a banker lap. Hamilton's going to come over the line now. He's going to set a 42.4. Bit glitchy there. Piastri next, along with Leclerc. They're going purple. Piastri goes purple. P1 41.8. Leclerc's coming over the line now. He's going to set a 41.6. The times are tumbling down here in Baku. The track seems to have ramped up once again. This is what George Russell was talking about, and it's a Ferrari 1-2.
It is a Ferrari 1-2, but not by much. Piastri in sight's very close. Alonso crosses the line, will be P6. Then we'll get Verstappen. Will they live up to the promise? Are they going to be challenging? No, they will not. That's a P5. They've got plenty of time to go again. Will they go into the pit lane, or are they just going to do cooldown runs? That's Alex Albon, only to P7 in the end. Colapinto is going to be right behind him right there. Very close margins between the two drivers. Perez is going to be up next. What's it going to be for Sergio Perez? It's going to be ahead of Verstappen right here. I maybe should have backed myself from my original qualifying predictions right now. Alonso, purple in the middle sector, in the last sector though, I should say. So looking pretty quick.
Oh, that's very entertaining. Verstappen coming out of the last corner. Turn 16, going wide. Whoa! Okay, well, I can see why he was a bit slow there. Losing the back end, almost into the wall. But no, he kept it out the wall nicely just about. And, yep, that's probably why Verstappen was... That's probably about 4 tenths at least, so he should be up where Piastri is, if not Sainz. So I don't think Verstappen's lap's representative there, and I think you don't look so dumb after all.
Fair enough. Oh, that's a good thing, of course. Now, the question is everybody going to be coming into the pit lane to get a fresh set of tyres on? They do have a few minutes, but it does mean that on the way out, it's going to be really, really manic. Currently, everyone is out on track, but that is Russell into the pit lane, and it will be Hamilton also into the pit lane. So they've got a bit of a job to do to get both cars in and out as quick as they can. Of course, all the other cars will be doing the same, except from Aston Martin and McLaren. They're going to be good to go with their pit crew. They don't really have a kind of two cars to manage in one, and it'd be just a little bit less crazy, which might help them. But yeah, we'll see who has fresh tyres now, if they can go again. I don't know how that will play out.
Yeah, we've got 4.5 minutes to go, just about. Q3. Verstappen in that first lap making a massive error. He should be fine to get another lap in. I think he's got one set. I think a lot, if not everyone, should have a fresh set of tyres, barring Alonso and maybe the Williamses. But apart from that, yeah, I think it's just going to be one lap. You just need to push around here, don't you? It's maximum attack everywhere you go. If you lose any bit of time in any part of the track, if you make a tiny mistake, that can just ruin your whole flow around Baku. It's a track where you just can't afford to make mistakes, and you need to be locked in at all times. As we see Sergio Perez, turn 15, almost doing the same as his teammate, nearly touching the wall, just keeping it out. And that's what I'm talking about. Look how close you need to get here. Very close. So, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be tricky. What do you think, Aaron?
No, Sergio Perez keeping it actually quite tidy there. He didn't get a big snap of oversteer, so that's why I was able to do that. But still, he was P5, 4 tenths behind the cars ahead. But it will be a bit of a last dash. Now, we do have a lot of cars already coming out. I was going to say everybody leaving it to the last minute. The Red Bulls, yes. But actually, the rest of the grid, not really. They're going out nice and early to try and see if they can get some space. Which is actually brilliant for Red Bull, because if they're going to go late, then they have less cars to worry about.
What's that Williams doing? Oh, don't tell me it's broken up. Okay, no, it's fine. Sorry for interrupting. I thought that Williams may have broken down there, but it looks to be... Oh! Oh, no!
That is a disaster.
Is that qualifying done then? Because he can't go with that. He's got the air cooler fan in.
Can they not get
How
a
have they
marshal?
forgotten that? Sorry?
Can they not get a marshal to just pull it out? I don't know. That's what they're
I
trying
think
to do,
so.
I think. That's what they're trying to do.
But I think that's like interference, and I think Albon will just have to come back to the pits then at least. And if
That
that's the case,
is a disaster. Absolutely outrageous. That's going to be a yellow. And if he's not able to move, which he's not able to move, you are right, Zingy.
Oh, he's right.
Qualifying will be done.
Nope, he's getting it off. What's Marshall? The Marshall needs to go and help him. Go! Help him!
Just chuck it. He's got to just chuck it.
Yeah, he's got to just throw it, mate. Just yank it, mate. It doesn't matter. It's a couple £100.
And he's pushed it.
What's
he's
he
now
doing? Grabbed it?
He's hoping that they will go and take it. The marshal is getting ready.
Oh no, there's ice on his car as well.
Ice on the car. That's going to be absolutely outrageous. He's got to be careful that that doesn't go into his race suit, because he's going to be in big trouble if he is. That's
Stuff's stupidly cold as well, yeah.
Yeah. Williams' coldest moments. Not right now. That's very, very strange to see. At least the car would have been cool for a moment, but now it's changed and we are going to get a good run and Russell will not be impeded, but Alex Albon is going to be incredibly frustrated and I don't think they're going to be able to perform now. That's going to be incredibly distracting. Will they be able to lock in to get this final run in? I don't quite know. Russell goes around the first few corners though.
Alex Albon's still got ice in his car, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you reckon, this is a really dumb thing to say, but do you reckon that they could drop some on the track?
I think it will come off the car anyway because they're going so fast. Maybe there might be a bit of an aerodynamic kind of vacuum where it all just kind of stays in one place on the car, but I think most of the dry ice will either melt or it will fall off the car anyway, so I don't think it's going to really be too much of a problem. It will all just evaporate at that point, so yeah, we'll be probably fine with that kind of situation. We've only got a few seconds left on the clock right now. Alex Albon might not actually get a lap in after all, so it could see him at the very back of the pack anyway. 2/10 Alonso would get, and he's going to get a guaranteed P9 right there. That's all he needs to do. But it's going to be the two Mercedes to come around the final few corners to see if they can challenge for the front row. That's going to be Albon under investigation, but we don't care. It's going to be George Russell not improving in the first sector. The middle sector is great. Not improving in the middle sector is Lewis Hamilton. Mercedes might have just ruined this in the last few moments. Russell P4, what's it going to be as they cross the line in Azerbaijan for the final time to finish off the session? It's going to be an improvement, but it will stay P4. Hamilton across the line next.
Hamilton up to the line, yep. He's not improving at all. It's going to be P7 for the 7th-time champion, purple in the last sector. But we've got Oscar Piastri, who was provisionally purple for a moment before Charles Leclerc took it. Piastri up into P2. Leclerc's improving once again. Out of that last corner he's already been. So coming up to the line, Carlos Sainz, first of all, improving a little bit. And Leclerc, will he get pole position here? It's 2/10 improvement, he's done it. And Verstappen's not improving, he's 6/10 down.
Perez purple in the first sector, in the middle sector 3/10 down, however, so that's going to be absolutely outrageous. Might be able to get ahead of Russell, maybe even Carlos if he's lucky. Sergio Perez still got a little bit more to do. Max Verstappen will not be able to improve. That is going to be it. Sergio Perez, though, can they find any more time? Verstappen did actually improve. It is the Mexican driver across the line to P4, and they do get ahead of Russell and just miss out on Carlos Sainz. That is a brilliant effort from Perez. But I was so close. Charles Leclerc does take pole position. Piastri instead of P3 goes P2, and Perez instead of P2 goes P4, or was it the other way around? Piastri, maybe it was P2, I don't know. But yeah, Sergio Perez did a great job there, but Leclerc, he just cannot be beaten around this circuit.
I did say Leclerc was going to get pole, I knew it. We both knew it. It wasn't really a competition, was it? Piastri was flying. He got P2. I did put him in my prediction for P3, but Norris just really messed me up there with P17. But I did Leclerc. The Ferrari's looking fast around here.
Yeah, Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. And of course, they've got both cars right up there as well. McLaren don't. McLaren, a one-man show, that's going to be difficult. We've got Perez and Verstappen, they're going to be high up as well as Mercedes. But really, the front runners are going to be Ferrari because they're together, they can work together. And they've got two drivers that are incredible at race IQ. That's more important as well. I think that's going to be brilliant. So, yeah, we'll see. That's Oscar Piastri, who was pushing the limits to try and make it all count for the McLaren team in the end, but 3/10, I don't think that would have cost them 3/10 in the end. I think Leclerc would have still got that pole position, and we would have been where we were anyway. But yeah, Leclerc starts from pole position for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix tomorrow, in prime position to win this race. If they can get a good start, they'll be absolutely golden. Piastri is not going to be too far away though. It is a short run into the first corner, and it's going to be a very cold run into the braking zone as well. Thank you very much for watching. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much, Zingy. One last question. Who do you think is going to win the race tomorrow?
I am backing Leclerc all the way. I think he's got it.
Okay, I'm going to
What
go.
about you?
I would say Leclerc, but I'm going to go different, and I'm going to go Oscar Piastri. Oscar Piastri is going to win, I reckon. Thank you very much, everybody. It's been a pleasure. We will see you next time for the Singapore Grand Prix. We'll see you later on for the LSI F1.5 EU Championship. Have a good one, and good afternoon.
Bye, guys.